us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Got your black.
Keep the leader when the leader.
Oh my God.
Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
Good evening. This is
Avi Bernard.
Very happy I am to be back in the United States and back on the network, even for so short a visit as this one. A lot of people asked us to do it again, so it's gratifying to get the chance now. Personally, I've never met anybody who didn't like
KBLA Talk 1580.
but it seems I do have a reputation for the uncanny. I'm an overpaid producer with pleasant reasons to rejoice, and I do. But surely my right to having more than enough is canceled if I don't use that more to help those who have less. We must each day earn what we own. A healthy man owes to the sick all that he can do for them. An educated man owes to the ignorant all that he can do for them. A free man owes to the world's slaves all that he can do for them. If we can't die in behalf of progress, we can live for it. If we waste that gift, we won't have anywhere to hide from the indignation of history.
This is the Friday edition of Areva Martin in Real Time with Avi Bernard.
We did it. We did it, Joe.
The dawn is hours before. We knew it. Somehow we do it.
The cry for racial justice, some 400 years in the making, moves us. The dream of justice for all will be deferred no longer.
And neither will the Friday edition of Areva Martin in Real Time. It's Avi Bernard here with you. Let's get you caught up. Former National Enquirer publisher returned to the stand for his cross-examination today. That's, of course, David Pecker. Yesterday, David Pecker testified about his role in hush money payments to adult film actress Stormy Daniels and former Playboy model Karen McDougal. Trump faces 34 counts of falsifying business records related to the hush money payment made to adult film actress Stormy Daniels. He has pleaded not guilty and denied a relationship with Daniels. David Pecker today, facing questions from one of the prosecutors, confirmed under oath that he bought McDougal's story when he was running the Enquirer as part of a scheme to influence the 2016 presidential election. As USC canceled its main commencement ceremony because of safety concerns over student protests, students at Columbia University in New York, where anti-war demonstrations led to dozens of arrests, said they feared theirs could be disrupted. Schools across the country where protests have flared up are keeping mum about whether they will adjust or outright cancel their ceremonies, but some students said they feared a domino effect, much like what happened after students at Columbia became the first to set up an encampment on campus. Screenwriter Aaron Sorkin is writing a film about the January 6th insurrection and how he believes Facebook's divisive material influenced the attack on the nation's capital. Sorkin, the writer famous for The West Wing, The Social Network, and the HBO series The Newsroom, put it bluntly in a podcast episode in which he said he blames Facebook for January 6th. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said the U.S. has seen evidence of Chinese attempts to influence and arguably interfere with the upcoming U.S. elections, despite an earlier commitment from leader Xi Jinping not to do so. Blinken made the comments in an interview today at the close of a 3-day trip to China, where the top American diplomat spent hours meeting with top Chinese officials, including Xi, as the two countries navigated a raft of contentious issues, from U.S. tech to Beijing's support for Moscow. President Joe Biden said he is willing to debate Donald Trump ahead of this year's election, the clearest declaration yet of his willingness to face off with his Republican rival before voters cast ballots in November. It's the first time Biden has said explicitly he would debate Trump in this election cycle. Previously, he has said it would depend on Trump's behavior. Some of Biden's aides have questioned whether Trump would abide by established rules in any potential debate. And finally, a Colorado paramedic was sentenced to 4 years of probation today for his role in the killing of Elijah McClain, bringing to close the years-long effort to prosecute those involved in the black pedestrian's death. Jeremy Cooper, a one-time Aurora Fire Rescue paramedic, had faced up to 3 years in prison following his conviction on December 22nd for criminally negligent homicide. We're going to have friend of the show, Christopher Walton, former chair of the Democratic Party of Milwaukee County, joining us shortly to talk about everything happening today with the Trump trial. And in hour number 2, I am going to reluctantly talk about the debacle that is the Lakers playoff experience. I don't feel like talking about it. I don't want to talk about it. We're going to talk about it anyway. We're going to have KBLA sports reporter Ray Richardson joining us in hour number 2. And of course, we'll have Candy Andy chiming in as well. It is going to be a release of sorts, I guess you could say. So a lot to talk about today. As usual, we will welcome Christopher Walton as soon as we come forward right here on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's the real deal in real time. You're listening to Areva Martin in real time on KBLA Talk 1580.
Free. Who doesn't love free? With Milo's Rewards, you get the member-only treatment that's actually worth it. Enjoy free member gifts you'll love. And once you reach Silver Key status, you can get free standard shipping. Because Lowe's knows nothing feels better than free. Learn more about our new loyalty program at Lowe's.com/Milo's Rewards today. Program subject to terms and conditions. See Lowe's.com/terms for details. Member gifts may be subject to additional terms and restrictions. See Lowe's.com/shipping terms for details. Subject to change.
Febreze. So my home is also my office. And before I can focus, every room's gotta be clean. That means tidying up, then spraying my Febreze Air Mist. Ooh, that's fresh. Febreze Air Mist scents are all high quality. They fight any weird funk, and they give my air an instant boost of freshness. So not only does my home smell good, I feel good too. After I Febreze, it's time to start my day.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Psst. Hey, I have a secret. I use Secret Whole Body Deodorant because more than just my armpits stink.
Oh, can I use it where my bra rubs under my...
Oh, yeah.
And what about down there? You know, my...
Totally. 4 out of 5 gynecologists would recommend it. So I tried it, and now I get 72 hours of freshness from my pits to my...
Ooh, I love that it's a spray.
Me too. And it comes in sticks and creams too. Go get your Secret Whole Body Deodorant.
You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580, where climate is king. Climate is king. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Stay Housed LA has the resources you need to know your rights and the legal support to back them up. The COVID-19 pandemic has cost people their jobs and livelihoods. This has left an estimated 1/3 of households not being able to make rent and facing losing their homes. This is a fear no one in our community should have to face. You have rights, though, and Stay Housed LA is here to help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between the County of Los Angeles, the City of Los Angeles, and local community and legal service providers. Together, they provide tenants with the information and support needed to exercise their rights so they can remain safely in their homes. Find out more about your rights by participating in a virtual tenant workshop. Get the legal assistance you need. Find additional resources in Los Angeles County and the City of Los Angeles. Stay connected to Stay Housed LA County for updates. This and more at stayhousedla.org. Stay connected to Stay Housed LA for updates. This and more at stayhousedla.org. That's stayhousedla.org. Or call their hotline at 213-694-0040. We've got your black with a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
The way we spend our time defines who we are. You're listening to Areva Martin in real time on KBLA Talk 1580.
And it is the Friday edition of Areva Martin in real time. Avi Bernard here with you every Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific, 7 to 9 Eastern. And thank you whether you're joining us on 1580 AM here in Los Angeles or on the KBLA app, which is free, or you're listening to and watching us on YouTube. You can watch us on YouTube. So we are going to be joined by Christopher Walton, former chair of the Democratic Party of Milwaukee County. I just want to say the show is not ending today. I said it might be, but we are going to have a few more versions before I have to step away, as the birth of my second child is imminent. But today is not the last day. Just wanted to let you know that, because I know we had talked about it last week. So appreciate you joining us. And Christopher Walton, thank you very much for joining us. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm glad I was able to catch you before you go, and I appreciate you leaving, but I understand.
Yeah, I appreciate you being with me all this time, man. You've been like one of my most reliable contributors and guests, so I appreciate you immensely. And I don't think this will be our last episode, thankfully. So, but I'm glad. I'm always glad to have you on the show with me.
Absolutely.
So yeah, so we got a lot to talk about today, per usual. And we can start with the multitude of subjects we could discuss within the Trump trial or the Trump Supreme Court situation. So I guess where should we start? Should we start with the trial in New York, or should we start with the Supreme Court?
I always say go in seniority, so we start with the Supreme.
Okay, start with the Supreme Court. So this whole situation, the Supreme Court even agreeing to hear this claim that Trump has blanket immunity. So the lower court already ruled on this very clearly and decisively, saying that, of course, no one has blanket immunity. That's crazy. This is not a monarchy. No one can just be elected president for 4 years or 8 years and then for the rest of their life have immunity from what they did while they were in office. So the Supreme Court did agree to hear this, of course, and they waited as long as they possibly could to hear this. And not only did they hear it, did they agree to hear arguments regarding this preposterous claim. But
mockery.
It is a mockery. But not only did they agree to hear it, but they're actually sounding like, you know what? Maybe Trump has a point. He should be immune to a lot of the things that he did. I mean, can a former president really be prosecuted? Does that open the door to every former president being prosecuted by their successor? It has never been more clear. You always kind of brace yourself. I guess I always do anyway, for what this Supreme Court might do. But in this case, you thought, okay, well, they're not going to be crazy to say a former president can just be immune, just have blanket immunity. But they're kind of, we don't know what they're going to do, but it looks like at the very least, they're going to kick it back down to the lower court and give Trump the delay that he wanted. So what have been your thoughts about what we've seen from the Supreme Court so far, which I never thought we'd be here even with this super right-wing Supreme Court, but what are your thoughts?
Right. I think that from what I saw, it is really it's weird. This is just weird. All of it. George W. Bush said it best at Trump's first inaugural. It's just some weird shit. But
we can't say that on this station, but I do share that sentiment.
Oh. And apologize.
all good.
So when we look at the situation, it's just is this really happening? But I don't think that the Supreme Court is going to do that. I think they don't want to be disbarred at some point in the future for making this type of mistake.
Can they? They don't face any consequences. That's the crazy thing about the Supreme Court is who it's like Jay-Z said, who's going to stop me? Right? Who's going to stop them from doing it? Or who's going to level some consequences on them?
Well, the American people have to stand up. We have the ability to always level consequences and hold everybody responsible every election. If we elect the right people in place and put the right people in place, I think we could actually maintain full control of Congress, or regain full control of Congress, and reelect President Biden this year if we get out there and vote. But the thing is, we have to do it, and we have to make it clear what we want when we do this. We need to expand the Supreme Court. We need to make the court actually fight and believe that the American people don't want their conservative actions in place. We didn't want this. And they're showing it state by state we didn't want that, whether it be affirmative action, abortion rights, marijuana legalization. This is not what we wanted. And since you're gonna force our hand, we're gonna show up and put in the right people who can actually change things. But of course, it's always easier said than done. But when it really comes down to it, I don't think they're gonna do this. But I really am shocked that they even had to go to this far to even have this conversation. But then again, I'm glad we are having this conversation now, what the actual role of the presidency is and how it shouldn't be a role that's just immune. You should not have the right to literally launch a coup. You shouldn't have the right as president to have your political opponents assassinated if you wanted to. Like, that's unacceptable behavior. But what we're seeing now is that tradition is not law. And if you don't codify these things, you don't actually put law down saying, no, you can't do this, you'll get somebody like Trump, a useful idiot, who will come in and do whatever he wants to because it's not on paper.
Yeah, and the Supreme Court seems like their main goal is to protect him. It's not to uphold the Constitution or to live by precedent. And obviously there's never been a situation quite like this. But and
right.
To your point, saying that you can assassinate a political rival or conduct a coup, his lawyer, Trump's lawyer, is actually saying that. He's saying that the Supreme Court, several justices of the Supreme Court have asked questions like this, saying, well, what if Trump were to try to engage in a coup and tell the military, I feel like staying in power, so go ahead and take care of my rival for me, take him out. And Trump's lawyer will say, Trump's lawyer is saying, well, if it's an official act, then it is protected. You would have to be impeached first, but then there's such a high bar for impeachment. Impeachment will never happen for either party, really, because you have to have 2/3 other than something really, really crazy. And even in that case,
I think this would qualify as really, really crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. And even in that case, we saw, Trump didn't even get impeached because there's always going to be just enough members of that person's party to prevent it, other than like murdering somebody on camera or something. I don't think that a president will ever get convicted after being impeached because of just the high bar set. So his lawyer, Trump's lawyer, is really making the case that you can't do anything as long as it's an official act. It's just it's crazy, man.
If they rule that presidents are immune and have the right to do whatever they want to do, he's not president right now. So I stay away from those wine bottles, as Jill Scott said in that movie. It may not be good for him.
Yeah, to your point, President Biden could have him assassinated. And if that's the rule, then yeah, President Biden could have him assassinated because that's his rival, and it's an official act, so he'd have to be impeached first. And under Trump's lawyer's argument, then that makes it dangerous for all of us. If any of the wrong person pisses off the president, then we could then be a target, and he would still be protected because he's the president. That's just stupid. The fact that the Supreme Court is even considering this is just wild to me. It's absolutely wild. But
we have to remember this: that in this upcoming election, the next presidential term, 3 of the sitting Supreme Court justices are be over the age of 70. 2 of them, Clarence Thomas and Samuel Alito, and the other one is Sonia Sotomayor.
Mm-hmm.
The next president could potentially again appoint 3 judges to the U.S. Supreme Court. Do you want Donald Trump appointing 3 judges to the U.S. Supreme Court, or would you like Joe Biden to appoint judges to the Supreme Court? Think about that when you try to decide who is the better candidate or who's the lesser of 2 evils. Who's going to be appointing Supreme Court justices from 2025 until 2029?
Yeah, it's a point that cannot be overstated, the importance of being able to select those Supreme Court justices. And Lawrence O'Donnell from MSNBC said recently that your votes outlive you, because you're voting for a president who's going to select these justices. So people who voted for Clarence Thomas, or people who voted for, who appointed Thomas? Was it H.W.?
Yeah, H.W.
People who voted for George H.W. Bush, who have long since died, their vote is still alive with Clarence Thomas. So if you're voting now for Donald Trump, and you're in 30, 40 years from now, the justices who he selects, their policies are on you. So abortion rights being taken down all over the country, these crazy Republicans trying to take away women's rights in every state if they could. They will enact a national abortion ban if Trump is elected and he has the Congress and the House. They'll eliminate the filibuster for that if he has the Senate, the Senate and the House. So they'll eliminate the filibuster for that. They won't do it for for much, but they'll do it for that. And they don't care about it being a majority opinion among American people. They don't care what the American people want. They care what they want, and they care about power and money, and that's it. But to your point about Justice Sotomayor being over 70, do you think that she should retire now? Because I know that I've heard people talking about that. And if we, obviously we all remember what happened with Justice Ginsburg. I remember where I was the day she died. I had just landed in Maui, and I got the alert on my phone, and I could not believe it. I mean, it was believable because she was an elderly person and she had many ailments, but I knew it was like late September, I think, and I knew they're gonna rush this appointment through. And do you think that Sotomayor should retire? Because you just never know what could happen when you're in your 70s. I mean, that's 4 years is a long time, and you just never know. What do you think?
It's a hard call to make. It really is a hard call to make because at the same time, you get a situation with Justice Marshall. If he had just stayed on the court and lived out and just passed away on the court, he died 3 days after Bill Clinton became president. So we wouldn't even have had Clarence Thomas. On the other hand, you got RBG, who probably should have stepped away in 2014, but didn't, and here we go. So it's like we don't know. We don't know. Me personally, if it was me and I already knew what we were running into and looking at right now, I wouldn't take the chance. I would enjoy my retirement and go write a book and enjoy the remainder of my life. But you never know.
Yeah,
so I don't know.
And I kind of feel like she should. I mean, why take a chance? Yeah. And to the other guys, to the elderly Clarence Thomas and Samuel Alito, people like that who are like driven by hate, who you can just see them and just see the hate coming out of their pores. Like Clarence Thomas just looks bitter. He will live long enough. If they don't got to retire right now because they'll probably live through another term if they wanted to. If Biden gets reelected, they won't retire. I can almost guarantee you that. They would have to die because they are so right wing and they are so craven. They will die.
They already know.
What's that?
They already know. Tom, they will not be replaced.
Yeah, they know. They know that if Trump wins this cycle, they will retire during the next cycle. Guaranteed, both of them, and then we will have like 6 or 5, I guess, because not Justice Roberts. We'll have 5 like super young conservative justices on the court for the next 30 to 40 years. And so Biden winning this term is the only chance that we have to have like a decent Supreme Court anytime in the next 30 years. This is our only chance. So, and even if Biden wins Thomas and Alito, they'll probably try to wait. They definitely will try to wait. I don't know if they'll make it. They probably will. It is just, it's the stakes are so high. The stakes are so high for even with this just the Supreme Court. Never mind all of the immunity and what will happen to democracy and everything else that if Trump wins. But it is we can't be overstated. But let's talk about this trial though. This trial that Donald Trump is under and is going through in New York due to his the payments he made to Stormy Daniels. And I've said this many times. People will try to say that this trial doesn't matter. And I do understand that it is the least severe of the 4 trials that he has forthcoming, but it's still very, very bad what he did. You can't election laws are there for a reason. If you are breaking election laws, then you are cheating. And you can't just say, well, I don't think it's that bad what he did. It's an election law for a reason, and he broke it, allegedly. But there's evidence. The guy that he was consulting with or in cahoots with, the guy he was in cahoots with, David Pecker, with the National Enquirer, he said on the stand, yeah, we had to deal with him to kill these stories to benefit him and to create fake stories to benefit him. Isn't that kind of the ball game, Chris?
insane. All this is insane. But it's also the National Enquirer. So those who read the National Enquirer as a source of credible news concern me already. This whole situation is like he's just making stuff up. He does what he wants to do, and people let him do it, and that's sad. America has a problem when it comes, especially to our celebrity culture. We let celebrities get away with the things that they want to do because they're celebrities, and we treat them like gods. They're literally humans. They're not even the smartest humans most of the time. So it's like, how are we the people we allow to move and shake our country? What are we doing? It makes no sense. Like, he should not be able to get away with this at all. And the fact that this man is literally has a 50-50 shot at being president of the United States. Wake up, America. Stop this. Stop this now.
Yeah. I mean, and Fahima Sek on YouTube, haven't seen you in a while, Fahima. Welcome back. She said Clarence Thomas is older than Sotomayor. Why aren't we asking about him retiring? I believe I just addressed that, but you may have said it before I did. But because that hateful man is going to stay on the court as long as he can if there is a Democratic president, no matter what. When we come forward, though, we'll continue to dissect everything that's going on in the news today. So I'm excited because I learned today that Aaron Sorkin is writing a film about January 6th. Aaron Sorkin is one of the greatest film and television writers probably ever, and he's writing a film about January 6th, and I can't wait to discuss that. And also, Joe Biden said he would debate Trump. Should he debate Trump? And of course, we have What in the White entitlement coming your way this hour. After this news, traffic, and sports update on KBLA Talk 1580.
Areva time is the right time. More of Areva Martin in real time when we come forward.
I'm Tyreek Wynn. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. A reported associate of Sean Diddy Combs is pleading not guilty to drug possession in a Florida court. Brandon Paul was charged in Miami with felony cocaine possession. The former Syracuse basketball player was arrested last month on the same day federal agents raided two of the music mogul's homes. Paul already had cocaine inside a travel bag. A separate lawsuit accuses Paul of working as a drug mule for Combs. Zendaya's Challengers is off to a good start at the box office. The tennis drama made $1.9 million from Thursday previews. The film is expected to make between $12 to $15 million in its first weekend in theaters and is projected to take the #1 spot from A24's Civil War. Vice President is making a return to Atlanta, Georgia. Kamala Harris is planning a stop on Monday to kick off what's being called the Economic Opportunity Tour. She's specifically expected to discuss small business investments and minority-owned businesses. That's the latest. I'm Tyreek Wynn on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
An emergency Caltrans project all over with on the 101 northbound, the Hollywood Freeway in Universal City. The right-hand lane was closed between Lancashire Boulevard and Vineland. That project is all over and done with. 101 north, though, you're slow from the East LA interchange to the 110 or the 4 level. 101 north slows again from Melrose to just before the North Hollywood Freeway split. South 101 Hollywood Freeway, you're slow from Vine Street to the East LA interchange.
Mother's Day is coming up, and Macy's Backstage has amazing deals on great gifts that Mom is going to love, all for $15 and under. Get low prices every day at Macy's Backstage. Find a store near you today at macy'sbackstage.com. Off price, on trend, arriving daily.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Former USC running back Reggie Bush said he still intends to file a defamation lawsuit against the NCAA, even though Bush got his Heisman Trophy back on Thursday. The Heisman Trust reinstated Bush's trophy 14 years after it was stripped from him for allegedly receiving improper benefits when he played for USC. From 2002 to 2005, the NCAA vacated all of Bush's college stats and records, as well as USC's national championship in 2004. Noted civil rights attorney Ben Crump is part of Bush's legal team. 6 of the first 12 players selected Thursday night in the first round of the NFL draft were quarterbacks. UCLA defensive end Laiatu Latu was the first defensive player taken in the draft. He went at number 11 to the Indianapolis Colts. Tomorrow night at 7 here on KBLA, join me and my co-host Neil Scarborough for Out of Bounds. You can join the conversation at 1-800-920-1580. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader.
KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader.
If you're not following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Follow the leader. Oh my God. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
It's time for California Community College's Black Student Success Week. This week-long event, held April 22nd through the 26th, is an opportunity to focus on innovative approaches to ensuring Black and African American students succeed in their educational pursuits. Black Student Success Week 2024, building a better future together. The urgency is now. For more information, visit blackstudentsuccess.com. That's blkstudentsuccess.com.
Life can throw unexpected challenges our way. Black families need support. Children require safe, loving, temporary homes. Research shows that children in foster care thrive best when they remain in their own communities. The strength and love within the Black community can provide a sense of belonging. We need your help to consider opening your hearts and homes. Contact fosterlakids.org today or call 888-811-1121. Again, 888-811-1121. Become a foster parent today.
My mom has taken up going to the park to practice yoga.
My dad's going to a club, but not a book club, a salsa club.
Finding new hobbies comes with age.
My mom has started getting lost and not knowing where she's going.
Becoming lost or disoriented doesn't. Confusion with time or place may be a sign of Alzheimer's. An early diagnosis can help improve the quality of life for your loved one. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. There's no time like the present. Let's get back to more of Areva Martin in real time on KBLA Talk 1580.
Now that the bridge is on this side of the border,
Give me some of that.
why don't y'all come on over here with us? You wanna walk the water? And if you ever should see a skunk shake his rump, tell him to come on over here for some snake funk in the dump, baby. Now we got this stick that will set you free. All you got to do is take a closer walk with me. And we got this thing that's full of magic tricks. So come feel, if you will, the magic of the Dookie stick. We want to play for you. Play, mama.
We want to sing to you.
A weeby in my ears.
We want your hips to move.
And a dookie in your wookie, brother.
We want your lips to groove.
I feel a thrill.
Oh, yeah. It's the Friday edition. I think you just got put on, Andy. You know, yeah, exactly. Y'all know about that. A dookie stick. It's Avi Bernard here with you every Friday. Thank you so much for joining us. Christopher Walton is here with us, former chair of the Democratic Party of Milwaukee County. So, let's get back to it, Chris. Let's talk about the the comments Joe Biden made today, President Joe Biden made about being willing to debate Donald Trump. So Donald Trump famously did not debate any of his Republican primary rivals this year or this cycle. I'm not saying it was necessarily a bad decision, but I mean, he didn't. And I think he would have got ate up. But now he's saying he's been saying he wants to debate Joe Biden. We can't ever know what the hell he's going to do on any given day. He's not going to abide by any debate rules. We do know that. So, but Joe Biden said today that he would debate him. He hasn't said like what kind of rules would or should be in place. But do you think Joe Biden should debate Donald Trump?
Absolutely. Did you see how he did last time around?
Yeah.
Of course he should debate Donald Trump. Donald Trump lost every single debate in 16. He lost every single debate in 20. This man cannot debate. As a former debate coach and a lover of presidential debates, I would personally love to see this happen again. Donald Trump is incapable of forming a cognitive sentence. Joe Biden makes them daily. Like, President Biden is literally going to wipe the floor with Donald Trump. But then again, you know, President Biden is an older man now. He's a little bit older than he was. We want to lower that bar like they always do. So that when he shows up, like he did at the State of the Union, that he shows up like they did at the last debate and walks the floor with him. But, you know, he's just a humble old man. You know, he may not make it through the whole debate. So I'm looking forward to seeing Joe go out there. And we're going to lower that bar again for President Biden, and we'll just go watch the magic happen, as it always does.
Yeah, and when you talk about lowering the bar, that's exactly what Republicans had been doing in calling Joe Biden senile, making him seem like a drooling old man who can't speak and can't formulate a thought. And that's why that really backfired on them during the State of the Union, because had they not set the bar so low, the expectations wouldn't have been so low for that State of the Union. And then when Joe Biden came out fiery, energetic, and coherent, then it wouldn't have been as a surprise to everybody. And the media bought into that too. Like, oh, the age. And I'll repeat again, Trump is almost the same age. And
he'd be a freshman, he'd be a junior.
And he is way less mentally apt still. He is declining. He slurs his words all the time. He gets things confused. They don't cover that. When Joe Biden makes one little slip up, man, they are on it. They cover it all day. But Trump does that like every week. He makes a crazy slip up every week, and they don't talk about it. And even if he wasn't old, even if Trump wasn't old and on the path towards senility, he's still crazy. He's not crazy because he's old. He's crazy because he's crazy, because he's an idiot. Right. He said we should drink bleach. He literally said that. And he didn't do that because he's old. He did that because he's an idiot. So remember that. But I think I'm not sure about a debate for Biden and Trump. I don't know if I would support it, just because I don't think Trump deserves it. And I do understand that there are politics involved, and you can't look like you're ducking him. So I understand if Joe Biden and debates are customary. There's usually 3 of them, and then there's one vice presidential debate. And whoever Trump's vice presidential pick is, I would love to see Kamala Harris beat their ass. So, but in terms of whether there should be a debate, I'm not entirely sure yet what I feel, but I do think that Trump hasn't comported himself in a way that should allow him to get these debates, because he's not going to follow any rules. He doesn't have any decorum, and it is just he deserves to be left off to the side. But we'll see what happens with that. Let's talk about this forthcoming film that hasn't been written yet. It's in the process of being written by screenwriter Aaron Sorkin, who's written The West Wing, The Social Network, The Newsroom, more recently The Trial of the Chicago 7, and many fine works of cinema. And now he said he's writing a film about January 6th insurrection. and how he believes that Facebook's divisive material influenced the attack on the nation's capital. I can't wait to see how Aaron Sorkin decides to come at this story. But what do you think about Aaron Sorkin making a film about January 6th?
I think that would be actually a good film. I'm looking forward to seeing that. Generally, everything that Aaron Sorkin touches, I'm very much a fan of. So if he is making a film about January 6th, I think it's going to be a good movie to watch. I'm wondering what angle he's going to try to go from it.
Right.
But, hey, this is the man that made West Wing. I trust him.
Right. And he one of the things that he's great at is the dialogue. It's just quick, snappy dialogue. And so he'll I can see him starting it off with like a conversation between like a Trump aide and some crazy right wing group, and we got to set this up. We got to, this is our last chance to keep Trump in office or whatever. I can see just some really good conversations that are based in fact, that are based on actual events, and then just the visual aspect of everything that happened that day. He has so much to work with, and with his talent, I mean, it's gonna be something else. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that as well. And I feel like it's gonna be a while though. If he's writing it now, it's probably gonna be at least 2 years out. But whenever it does come out, I will be there. And maybe wifey and I will be going back to theaters by then. I don't think we haven't been to the theater since COVID. But and shout out to wifey, by the way, also here in studio visiting today. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that movie. And let's talk about Chris. This supposed interference that U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has talked about. He said today, after a 3-day trip to China, that he has seen evidence that the Chinese are attempting to influence and arguably interfere with the upcoming election. And the U.S. got a commitment from the Chinese president, Xi Jinping, that he wasn't going to do that. I don't know that his word means much, but China interfering in the election is a big thing. Obviously, Russia, they did interfere in the election, and Republicans always try to act like they didn't. Oh, Russia, and Trump derangement syndrome, and that didn't really. Trump asked for Putin's help. He asked them to look into the emails from Hillary Clinton, and that same day, it was either that same day or the next day, it actually happened. And everything that Russia did benefited Trump, and it was deliberate. So, but China, I feel like their capabilities are far greater than Russia. So this news that U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said that the Chinese are trying to interfere in the election is alarming. But what's your level of concern about this?
So for me, I think we should be very vigilant of our enemies. Our enemies do want to do us harm, and they're trying to deliberately. They want to see Donald Trump become president because they know that takes the United States off the map. We're not going to be there doing what we do, defending democracy, setting up the human rights, actually trying to make the world a better place. We're going to be back, America first, make America great again. That's not what the world needs. The world needs a strong, stable United States to help guide the world forward. And if China deciding to do that, or Russia's deciding to do that, then we have to act on that. We can't allow that to happen. But we know what the situation is, so we have to stop it.
Yeah, and I know that a lot of Republicans are like okay with this because it's benefiting them right now, but just imagine if all of our elections were decided by some conglomerate of other nations, just how much they decided to get involved and who they chose to back. If it was your candidate that was being negatively affected by any number of countries, let's say Germany was getting involved in favor of Joe Biden or whoever the next presidential candidate is, Gavin Newsom, or the UK or the United Kingdom, if Great Britain was trying to get involved in helping Gavin Newsom get elected, and he had, is it going to be the UK and Germany and Gavin Newsom versus Russia and China and whoever the next crazy Republican nominee is, Vivek Ramaswamy or whatever. You want to have it just be the candidates versus the candidates and the nation decides, or whatever countries are on that candidate's side can just weigh in freely. And the Republicans really really bother me with this because they don't think about the other side of it. They're cool with it, though. They're cool with it if Russia does it and they act like it didn't happen. But if it happens to them, see how much they complain. All right, when we come forward, we're going to get into our weekly segment, What in the White Privilege, right here on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's the real deal in real time. You're listening to Areva Martin in real time on KBLA Talk 1580.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
We used to argue about whose turn it was to clean the gutters, but then I had Leaf Filter gutter protection installed.
Wait, I told you Leaf Filter had free inspections and estimates and a lifetime guarantee.
Meaning we never have to argue about whose turn it is to clean the gutters again.
But I visited leaffilter.com/beacon first.
No, I did.
It doesn't matter who. Visit leaffilter.com/beacon to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off today.
See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be a sign that your digestive system isn't working at its best? Taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil fiber powders help promote your daily digestive health using a plant-based fiber called psyllium. The gelling action of this special fiber traps and removes waste so you can feel lighter and more energetic. Metamucil, promoting digestive health for a better you. Learn more at metamucil.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Environmental justice is racial justice.
Environmental justice is social justice.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment. LA's 99 neighborhood councils form the grassroots level of the Los Angeles city government. The system was created to connect LA's diverse communities to City Hall. While neighborhood council board members are volunteers, they are also public officials elected to office by the members of their community. Neighborhood councils advocate on issues like homelessness, housing, land use, emergency preparedness, public safety, parks, transportation, and sustainability. They also provide local expertise on the delivery of city services to their various communities. Neighborhood councils are open to participation by anyone who is a part of the fabric of daily life in said community. This includes those who live, work, or own property or a business. If you are interested in stepping up to join your local neighborhood council, visit www.empowerla.org. That's empowerla.org. It's time to think globally, but act locally. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
The way we spend our time defines who we are. You're listening to Areva Martin in real time on KBLA Talk 1580.
And it is the Friday edition of Areva Martin in real time. Avi Bernard, joined by a friend of the show, Christopher Walton, former chair of the Democratic Party of Milwaukee County. And it is about the time to check into white privilege. Andy, who's at the door?
It's white.
So there was this show on Showtime called Who is America? All right, it was created by Sacha Baron Cohen, and you may know Sacha Baron Cohen from Borat. You may know him from Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby, where he was the French driver, and he is basically a master of disguise. And so he creates this series called Who is America, in which he is interviewing these crazy, like, right-wing figures, and he's pretending to be like an Israeli military commander. All right, so the accent that you're hearing is fake. And they actually think that he is an Israeli commander, and he's getting them to do and say all these crazy things, right? So in this case, he's interviewing Jason Spencer, who's I think he's a Republican state representative, or he was. I got to check on what happened to him since this was about 5 years ago, but I came across this recently and I wanted to share it with you because it is so hilarious and wild. Now, I'm going to play you a clip, but I just strongly recommend that you go on YouTube and watch this entire thing because your jaw will be on the floor. I'm just going to play a clip of it for you. And this is Jason Spencer, a right-wing guy. And we got that ready, Andy? Let's hear it.
ISIS are scared of being seen as homo. You know what it means, homo?
Yeah.
If your buttock touch them, it means they have become a
homosexual.
Now I am going to teach you how to use your buttocks to intimidate ISIS. Show me the buttock. No, trousers down.
So pause it, Andy. So what you're hearing is actually happening. So this guy who Sacha Baron Cohen is claiming to be an Israeli commander, he says, if you see somebody who you think is ISIS, pull your pants down and try to touch them with your bare ass, and they will be afraid and they'll run away. And this dude is actually pulling his pants down and trying to back into what he thinks is the Israeli commander because they're going through a quote unquote training exercise. All right, go ahead, Andy.
No, trousers down. Okay, go.
America!
Good, one more time, but louder with America.
America!
Good. We say in the Mossad, not in the Mossad, if you want to win, you show some skin.
Okay.
Okay, show it to me. Now, try to touch me.
I'll touch you with my buttocks. I'll touch you. You're gonna drop the gun or I'll touch you. USA!
Okay, stop. You have to remind me. If I touch you, you will become a homosexual.
Okay.
Okay? Now, try to touch me. Go!
Ah! Ah! Ah!
Go, 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 go!
Ah! Ah!
Go!
Go, go! Ah! Ah! USA! USA, motherfucker!
Okay, yes or no? You show me your weapon. Go.
I'll touch you. I'll make you a homosexual. You drop that gun right now. USA!
Okay.
USA!
All right. So Chris, I'm not sure if you've seen these. As crazy as it sounds, it is visually exactly as it sounds. Like it is. He's actually doing these things, and he later on gets him to say the N-word many times, because I think he says if you're trying to get attention, you're trying to scare a terrorist, you got to say the most shocking thing possible. So what's the most shocking thing possible? And the guy says just what unprompted, the N-word. And so he says, all right, now try to scare me. And he says, N-word, 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 and like just several times. And then Sacha Baron Cohen says, well, this is a terrible word. You shouldn't say that. And so, and then he's like, oh, you're right. So I just, Chris, I'm not sure if you've seen this, but do you have any thoughts on what you just heard from this Jason Spencer character?
He gets a lot of people to say the crazier things and to do the crazy thing. I don't know how this joke has continued for over a decade at this point. Like, do y'all not know who this person is? He keeps showing up and making y'all look like this. I would not do this if I were you. But, I have not seen these. I haven't seen this variation, but I can only imagine what he has these folks doing.
Yeah, and this is just one of them. This is just one of the like interviews that he does. He also got a guy named Roy Moore, who was a senatorial candidate in Alabama, and he pretended that he had a wand that could detect people who are pedophiles. And of course, Roy Moore was an accused pedophile, and it is just, I'm just trying to tell you, man. If you haven't seen these Who Is America joints, you got to check them out, and it will open your eyes to how crazy these people are. But this dude, Jason Spencer, just every the reason I wanted to play it for y'all, other than the fact that it's hilarious, is because he just immediately plays into every stereotype. Like Sacha Baron Cohen gets him to say derogatory things about Asian people, Muslim people, black people. I might be missing something, but just off of this, and it's so easy for him just by pretending to be somebody else, and he just gets him to say every single stereotype, and it's because those are the things that are already in his mind and in his heart. And so when you hold those beliefs and you believe that if people don't look like you, then they're scary or wrong or bad, then you're going to be more likely to spout some stuff like this. So that's why Jason Spencer, the former Georgia lawmaker, is the subject of this week's What in the White Privilege.
It's white.
All right, Chris, so anything on your mind, anything that you're looking forward to in the trial next week, the Trump trial, before we get out of here, anything else that we didn't get to today that you want to mention?
I just want to make sure that everybody knows just to register to vote, check your status, know where you need to register at. Just go out there and register to vote, folks. This is a big year. We all have a lot of major things going on. And when you do, go vote early. There's no need to wait till Election Day. Election Day is the last day to vote. Go vote early. And Avi, don't leave us. I guess I understand.
Yeah, and yeah, I know people are commenting on YouTube. I appreciate y'all for joining us. Always appreciate Howard, Kwamel, Fahima, Pretty Brown Mimi, and all of y'all. Really appreciate it. So yeah, this is not going to be the last show, but the last show will be sometime in May. I'm not sure my last show, but this show will continue. I'm just not going to be part of it. So I do encourage you to continue listening. Get updated on Fridays. Get your news from us, because we do bring you the latest, everything that's happened today. So it's just not going to be me. But just want to keep y'all in loop, because I appreciate y'all hanging out with us. And of course, as I remind you, you can always check out my podcast I have called Top 2, which is on demand. You can listen to it anytime. We come out with new episodes every Monday. So Chris, always appreciate you, and I will talk to you in a couple weeks. Have a great weekend.
Sounds good. Take care, Avi.
All right, you too. So when we come forward, we are going to be welcoming Ray Richardson to the program, and we are going to have a discussion about the Lakers. I was sitting on the bed. This is not an exaggeration. I was sitting on the bed last night watching the game with my hands folded, like I was a parent disapprovingly watching something that my child was doing. We'll talk about it after this news, traffic, and sports update on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Tyreek Wynn. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. A U.S. Secret Service agent assigned to Vice President Harris is being hospitalized after showing what is being described as distressing behavior Monday morning. The incident took place at Joint Base Andrews, with Harris not present at the time. Donald Payne, a 6-term congressman from New Jersey, has passed away. The 65-year-old